and we know that they're not worthy of that. So, I feel confident in the strength of the House Democratic Caucus and our unified purpose and message. No matter what the vote outcome is, we're going to walk out and we're going to be focused on how we get rid of Kristi Noem and how we ensure that DHS is a reasonable organization, and that's going to take significant reforms to get there.
Senate Majority Leader Donovan said this morning that it's an impossibility that there would be a deal within the next 10 days. If that's the case, do House Democrats plan to uniformly vote against another CR for DHS?
One step at a time. We got the rule vote in front of us this morning, and in the afternoon we have our vote. I'm not going to presuppose what's going to happen in 10 days today, but I will tell you that it's been shocking to see that House and Senate Republicans don't even want reasonable reforms to this lawless agency. They're seeing the same numbers and the same polls we are. The American public is standing with us and asking us to do something, and John Thune and Speaker Johnson are willing to just do nothing. They're willing to just let the status quo continue. House and Senate Democrats have said time and time again that's not going to happen. Andrew, and then
grassroots groups, progressive members have said that letting DHS funding continue to lapse is in itself the leverage that is needed to do things like get Kristi Noem out of office, to get significant reforms at ICE, including beyond body cameras and things that folks say are not significant enough in the aftermath of these Minneapolis shootings. What will you say to the base when inevitably there are enough members who have said they're going to vote to pass the government funding bill on final passage? What will you say to the base when they say you guys have just given up your leverage?
what I'll say to all of you and what I'll say to the members, first, we got to see what happens with this rule vote. You're making an assumption that this package passes in the afternoon, and I think that's fair. That's fine. I'll play along. But what you'll hear from members and what you'll hear us say to folks, inside, outside, whatever organizations you call it, is, we have more opportunities. We have more opportunities for leverage, not 6 months away, not in the next appropriation cycle, not, September 30th. We have some opportunities to make our voices heard in the next 10 days. And if we can build a coalition that includes our Senate colleagues and includes the American public who are seemingly already with us, that's a good first step. So that's what's in front of us. We'll see what happens with this vote, but I feel very confident saying that House Democrats are going to emerge and to say we need reforms on ICE. We have a list that we want done, and we aren't settling for half measures. And if Leader Thune and Speaker Johnson don't want to come to the table and negotiate real reform, then they're going to have to explain to the American public why they're shutting down, agencies. And maybe that's something they're comfortable, doing, but that's not going to be on us. It's going to be on them approving the lawlessness of ICE without making simple reforms that respect the First, Second, Fourth, 10th Amendment, and tries to offer some level of accountability and oversight over these agencies.
This deal we're voting on today stems from Leader Schumer talking directly to the White House. Do you feel that House Democrats are being included enough in those conversations, especially if we get down to the road of negotiating possible changes to ICE later on?
I don't think we were party to that conversation, last week. That's fine. Look, we play the cards we're dealt. We're voting on the measures that are on the floor. I'm not interested in playing parlor games over, who talked to who or hurt feelings about, missing a phone call. I don't care about that. My colleagues don't care about that. This is the vote in front of us. This is what we have. We have a rule vote coming up shortly, and then we have the full bill that includes the full year funding measures for the 5 agencies and the 2-week CR for DHS. That's in front of us. We've been asking for simple reforms to this lawless agency. We're going to continue to work with the American public and build a coalition that gets that accomplished, because nothing's going to change until we actually enact meaningful reforms to this agency. You? Yeah.
I wanted to ask in regards to the Clinton
curious, there seems like obviously several Democrats broke with the party to recommend it out of committee. I guess, do you guys think, do House Democrats owe it to a former president and a former presidential nominee of their party to protect them from bipartisan subpoenas?
Like this is about, and I don't want to get ahead of the committee. Robert Garcia and the committee members can talk about their votes and explain their votes. But criminal contempt of Congress is a very serious thing that should be reserved for. We should only vote on something that serious when someone completely thumbs their nose at Congress and doesn't want to, come in and meet. The Clintons have proposed a schedule to meet. They've accepted every condition that the chairman has offered. So clearly there is no basis behind a contempt vote, and a yes contempt vote right now. There's no basis for that. We won't support that. It's completely ridiculous, and it just shows the partisan nature of Chairman Comer. Right. I told you before when this came up a couple weeks ago, right? Like this is all political theatrics. This is about him wanting to score political points because he probably was at a rally at some point and yelled, lock her up. That's all this is about, is him trying to fulfill that, conservative, wet dream to make that happen. And so that's just that's where we are, and that's where the politics of this moment. But there's no basis for a contempt vote, and I hope one doesn't come to the floor.
So why are Republicans so interested in Bill and Hillary Clinton? It's because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage the press to go look at these allegations. And I'm highly disturbed that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just got the law wrong. Yesterday, he said, essentially, that it is not a crime to party with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that's actually not correct. If Jeffrey Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties, and you show up and patronize the establishment at that party, yes, you're guilty, because patronizing is part of the law, of the federal sex trafficking law. So Deputy General Todd Blanche just got that wrong, which maybe explains why they aren't investigating all these folks, including Donald Trump. He needs to read the law and investigate these people. He also needs to resign, not only for not knowing the law, but a massive, not only screw up, but the biggest privacy violation in history. They release a lot of pictures of minors unredacted, just violated the privacy of these girls. It is uncalled for what they did. The one thing that they could not do under this law was to invade the privacy of these women now, who were girls at the time, who were victims of sex trafficking. Also, he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, moved her to a minimum security prison, and then got a puppy for her. So for all those reasons, he's just got to leave the Department of Justice.
Thank you.